Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, along with several others that are focused on different destinations. Welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're really excited to be here in our Norwegian group for the first time ever tonight. We have a team of agents who just returned from a training cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line. And so they're going to be sharing their experience with you. And I'm really excited to hear about their experiences. And we hope that you are too. So, of course, we have a lot of information that we're going to be sharing with you up front, but we would love to save some time at the end of the video too to take any questions that you have. So, if at any point you have a question or want to make a comment, you can go ahead and drop those into the comment section, and we will come back to all of those at the end of our time together. We are using a platform called StreamYard to go live this evening. And so StreamYard might ask you if you want to post a comment to approve it to display your username and profile picture. Just know that you can decline that permission and you can still post anonymously, and we'll still be able to interact with you that way. So I'm joined tonight by three of our marvelous agents. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And if you would please just take a second to tell everybody your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a cruise.
Hey guys, I'm Jenna Ensign. I've been with the agency about a year, and the best way to contact me is through my email. It's jenna.ensign@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hey, my name is Casey Keys, and this summer will make 1 year that I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels. And the best way to contact me is also through my email, which is casey@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, I'm the other Jenna. I've been with the agency for almost 4 years, and the best way to reach me is also email, which is jenna@marvelousmousetravels.com.
And again, my name is Ginger, and I am also about to celebrate my 4-year anniversary with the agency. I'm a master planner, and you can reach me by visiting my blog, which you can find at gingermmt.com. So, ladies, we all know because we work with them all the time, there's obviously no shortage of cruise lines out there, right? There's lots of
Right.
different brands that people can choose from if a cruise is their vacation of choice. So, I guess the first question that maybe we want to answer for people, especially if they're new to cruising or new to this group, is why Norwegian? Why choose Norwegian Cruise Line over some of those other options?
In the last 6 months, I've been on Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and Norwegian Cruise Line. And I will say, like, I didn't know, I had not been on a Norwegian cruise before. And I didn't really know what to expect, but something that I absolutely loved about it was the freestyle cruising. They really like emphasize the freestyle. And if you have cruised before, typically, like for dinner, you'll get a set time or you'll sign up for a select time to go to dinner. With the freestyle cruising, it was not like that at all. I dined at a different time every single night in a different area every single night. Some of them weren't in a main dining room. Some of them were at a specialty dining. Some of them were just at like the pub, which was called the local. I really loved that it was so flexible and really like you can choose how you want to cruise and like make it the best for your family and your specific situation. So that's what I loved about Norwegian compared to the other two that I had recently experienced as well.
Mhm.
I agree.
I agree that, and then they have amazing promotions going on right now. So that free at sea, the free two of the two specialty dining, the free Wi-Fi, some shore excursion credits, all of those like free at sea things also add to the fact that you're getting 70% off and you're getting these free options at sea right now.
Yeah, definitely. Because with some other cruise lines, like everybody does their drink packages a little bit differently as well. So
Mhm.
on Disney Cruise Line, for example, you have certain things included already in your cruise fare. So you'll get like soda, but no alcohol is included. And there's not really an alcohol package. Royal does have packages that you can purchase after you've booked your cruise, but Norwegian with their free at sea that Jenna Ensign was talking about, you can get free open bar. So,
Right.
I mean, I didn't spend any money like on a drink package or worrying about how much that was going to cost or, you book the cruise. It's just something that another expense that you're not concerned about that you would be on another cruise line.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like both of the Jennas touched on was the flexibility, especially for me. I don't necessarily like a rotational kind of dining situation, because there's so many events and things to do on the ship. So it was really nice to be able to kind of, go at a certain time or when it fit my kind of schedule for the night. And also, you can kind of make it your own. With the amount of free things that you do, there's so many complimentary things you can
Right.
do. But if you wanted to make it extra special, if you wanted to do the specialty dining, if you had like a romantic evening or a birthday, you could also make it a little bit extra special for your evening as well. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think that all of these are great points because what people tend to love about cruise vacations is that all-inclusive element. Like when you pay for that cruise, you know what you're going to be paying, and that's going to include your food and everything. So, and it also includes your beverages. Again, that's just one less thing you have to worry about. But I think you guys touched on one of the main complaints that people often have about cruises too, and that is that it can feel a little bit regimented. And so, this gives you the benefit of that all-inclusive nature, but it also gives you the flexibility of another type of vacation where you can kind of do things on your own schedule. So I think it's the best of both worlds in a lot of ways with Norwegian, and that's one of probably the biggest perks about it. And you guys highlighted that beautifully. So let's talk about staterooms. What staterooms are available with Norwegian? What were the staterooms like in comparison to other cruise lines? Give us your opinions on that.
Well, we were fortunate enough because this was a seminar at sea to tour different staterooms. So I believe we all stayed in like a ocean view balcony. But we got to tour like family suites, and we also got to tour the studio lounges, which is for single cruiser, which blew my mind. Like I was under the impression that if you were a single cruiser, you would always have to pay that double occupancy. What do they call it? Like some
Like a
sort of
single
yeah, it's like a
fee or
single
something.
occupancy fee, exactly.
Yeah.
But Norwegian makes it possible for you to not have to pay that because you can book a room in these studio lounges. So that was incredible. I loved being able to see that. But they have everything from that solo, studio all the way through like double inside rooms to family suites that fit five. They have and then they even have staterooms that are like in the haven, so like your concierge club level type stateroom. So I mean the range is huge.
Right. The good thing about those studios too, so like let's say you're going on a girls trip and you don't necessarily want to share a room, you can have connecting singles. So then you have, like your friend can stay next door, but you can shut the door and have your alone time. And then those family suites, which I think is great, is a bathtub for the littles. And they also have the pull curtains, and it's an ocean view room, so you don't have that balcony, and the kids can sleep near the window, but you don't have to worry about them going out on the balcony. So that's a huge plus for families.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think even the single rooms, they have a lounge for those type of
Yes.
rooms. So there is like a privatized lounge with coffee and drinks and snacks and stuff that only those rooms get to enjoy.
And they encourage mingling upon the singles, so then you're not like
Yeah.
on a boat by yourself for 7 days.
Yeah.
Because that would be a bummer, right?
No,
Yeah.
not on that boat.
So let's talk a little bit about food. We mentioned that all-inclusive element.
Mhm.
So what are the food options? What were some of your favorite things that you had? Tell me all about it.
We were on the Encore, which is one of their newer ships, and I know that each ship has different restaurants or different menus that they offer. Some will be similar, and some will change. But personally, I loved the food. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. Um,
Yeah.
and I am usually a Disney cruiser, and Disney is known for like really high quality foods on board. So I was a little nervous because I didn't know like if I had gotten used to the like high end stuff or how this is going to measure up. And I loved it. Even the buffet had
Yeah.
different like themed nights that would change
Mhm.
and offer different things or different things for breakfast. I mean, it was just I don't even know everything from the buffet, which I'm not normally a buffet person, all the way to the specialty dinings. Like everything was great. Um, yeah. So I mean,
Some of their, they also had, so they had their buffet for breakfast, and then they had their main dining room open for lunch and some breakfast too. And then for dinner, then they had specialty restaurants like Cagney's Steakhouse. They had Los Lobos, which was a Mexican restaurant. They had Food Republic, which was the Pan Asian fare. Um, let's see what else. They had Onda, which was Italian food.
Italian.
What else? The
they have
Ocean.
French. Yeah,
Ocean
they have a
Blue.
French.
Ocean Blue was, and then they had French, La Bistro French. They also had the
Mhm.
local. Those are all additional. So all of those are the specialty dining are included in your two free at sea, and then also you can pay. One night we decided that six of us were going to go to dinner, and we literally ate off the appetizer menu for $20, but we were stuffed because it was so much food.
Mhm.
Then the locals kind of they're like 24-hour pub. You can go get breakfast. You can go get late night snacks. I'm craving a Reuben right about now. We would go at like 2 o'clock in the morning and get
Ooh.
Reubens. They also had a lot of specialty bars and stuff on board. The mojito bar, the whiskey bar. They had a craft brewery, which was extra. Um, some of my favorites were the small bites. They have this huge observation deck on the 15th deck, and it was huge. But every day around 10 o'clock, they would start putting out small bites from like 10 to 4, and those were fantastic too.
Mhm. There's definitely something for everybody.
Mhm.
With little kids, families, there was always something. And especially even at the buffet, there was different food from different countries. They had, Indian food and, Italian food. So it was really a lot of options to have.
They had a burger bar, and they had pizza. They
Yeah.
had Caribbean night. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff. Their pizza was really good too.
And I also was not sure. Like I had heard some things about, how you have to pay so all this extra for specialty dining, but you do not have to pay extra for the specialty dining to have the good food, which is
Mm-mm.
something I liked. Like the specialty meals that we did have were incredible and
Mhm.
definitely worth it if you want to pay additional money for additional specialty dining credits, which still was not that expensive. Like I want to say if you wanted three additional nights, it was $120. So, I mean, you could easily spend $120 in one night out to eat. But three additional nights for one person, I think was like 120.
It
So
was,
there's
and that included your gratuity too.
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean that's a really good deal if you're on a cruise for 7 nights and you want to try all the different places and you want a lot of variety. Like I love variety, so I was all for that. But like I said, what I just absolutely loved was the fact that you do not have to spend that extra money at
Right.
all to get the good food.
Right.
So that awesome to experience and be able to see and be able to explain to people, like, don't be worried. You're not going to get on board and be stuck with just French fries all
No.
week.
No.
No.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about onboard activities. What things are there to do on board the ship?
So much. I feel like even on a 7-day cruise, like I don't even know if I got to see and do
That's
everything. I
right.
mean, it ranges from, things more for teenagers or, like laser tag or go-karts to shows. I mean, there was such a variety for all ages.
The drop slide, they have a drop
Yep.
slide that goes over the ocean, and 50-50. 50% of the people get stuck, 50% of the people make it. I made it. They have they have the go-karts, the Encore Speedway on top. That's an additional charge. So, but you get to race for 8 laps. Sorry, Chelsea, but I beat you. Um, that was so much fun. Like on a day at sea, it's $15 a person, and then you get to make 8 laps. It's like real life go-karts. You get the headgear, everything. That was so much fun. The
Mhm.
laser tag area was so much fun.
I also had fun powering up. I didn't do the
Yes,
go-karts, but they had like these powering up like
fun.
gun things out on the
Yeah.
observation area where you power somebody up. That was super. I'm pretty sure I missed every single time, but whatever. It was super fun. And you didn't have to
Yeah.
pay for that. So
No, that was
Right.
fun. That was so much fun. Then they had the virtual reality room. It was a Galaxy Quest. Um, we paid for an hour of it. It's $30 for an hour, $120 a day, and you get your virtual reality goggles. Um, you can walk out over New York City and pick up a cat. You can fly on on a parasail. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. We got chased by a T-Rex. That was super fun. Um, the spa. The spa is fantastic. So we all had the thermal suite included for a week. I think it's $2.99 for the week. You get
Mhm.
the scenarium, the sauna, the steam room, the pools, and that was just nice to go up there in the evening time and relax.
Yeah. And then there's so many entertainment options too. I mean, obviously
Yes.
there's games and stuff that is constantly happening throughout the day, but there's also there was a Beatles tribute band in the Cavern Club, and that was amazing. They were great. There's
Mhm.
2 incredible shows that were on this ship. I mean, fan favorites, I think, all around for both shows.
Choir.
Pinky
Yeah.
Boots and Choir Man was just incredible. I think we
Yeah.
saw Choir Man maybe twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good the first time we had to go back. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And it was neat because we got to run into the cast all around the ship, and they were so nice. And so like you felt connected to these people when we saw them on stage, and you were excited for them. They also have karaoke. They have a dance club that's open till all hours of the night. Um,
I just a side note on that. I absolutely love that the crew members of the ship and like the cast of Choir of Man and stuff, like they like wear their name tag proudly that says Norwegian, even when they're not like when they're just roaming the ship. And they
mhm.
just like hang out with people, talk to people. And when we were on their private island, the whole cast of Choir of Man was playing like sand volleyball with like these college kids. Like it was just so fun to see them like be able to do that, because I feel
Right.
like on some other cruise lines, like you don't necessarily get that same, you get different type of personalized like service, but
Mhm.
this, I don't know, it just felt like you were cruising with your friends and your
Mhm.
family because
Mhm.
you were like hanging out with them when you saw them. So that I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that was really cool.
And they had different themed nights too. Like they had a
Mhm.
glow party and they had an 80s night. So they had all kinds of fun stuff, that you could go hang out and do if you didn't like
Mhm.
one thing or the other. There was tons to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. It was like endless number of things you could do. There was things for younger kids as well that were free. Like they
Mhm.
had like those uh so you think you can dance kind of like where you're dancing moves up in the big like atrium area. They had a what's the game called with the cases where you have to open
Deal
the
or no
case?
deal.
Oh,
They did
deal or
deal
no
or
Deal
no
or
deal.
no
deal.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they had that game, and like people were so into it. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, they were like screaming, like 10, 10, over 10, like no deal. Like it was hilarious. But
That
and that was,
we
I
did
mean,
we did Harry Potter trivia. We won.
yeah, Harry Potter trivia.
Very
I have a
appropriate.
picture of all of you guys because I was hanging up in the local. What I loved was at the local, it was like an open there. It was like in a semi oval kind of, and you could
Mhm.
oversee the atrium, and so you
Yeah.
could still take part in some of the activities, even
Mhm.
if you wanted to be up and like eating or drinking or whatever. So
Mhm.
I was like spying on all of them playing Harry Potter trivia, taking pictures, and like laughing at like other people's answers around me and stuff. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
So
fun.
let's talk a little bit. You guys mentioned the private island, but let's talk a little bit about the ports of call that you can visit on a Norwegian
Mhm.
cruise. Where do they sail to, or what was your personal experience with the ports of call?
Well, on our cruise, we did I believe it was a Eastern Caribbean cruise.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we went to Tortola.
Mhm.
We went to, well, first we went to Puerto Plata in Dominican
Mhm.
Republic. then we went to Tortola. No, we went
St.
to
Thomas.
St. Thomas,
St. Thomas.
and then we went to Tortola, and then we went to their private island, and in between there was some days at sea. But they have ships that sail almost everywhere. And like personally, the two that I have on my mind are cruising around Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because you can go see like 4 different islands,
Yeah.
which sounds amazing, as well as the observation, like, so the Norwegian Encore that we were on, and Jenna mentioned sitting in the observation area. So the Encore does sail to Alaska also. And so I like picture myself in that observation lounge, having my afternoon snack and drink and just like seeing all of Alaska in front of me. Like that is just what I've been picturing. So, I mean, they have so many options. If you're looking for an option pretty much anywhere, you know,
and the Prima, so their new ship is setting sail in August, and they're going to set sail out of Iceland. So that's on my list.
Yeah.
Be amazing. So what was the private island like? What all was there to do there? What was the food situation?
The food situation, a great start. Okay, so the food and the drinks are included. I know, right? I'm like, oh, the food. The food was so good. I'm a South Louisiana girl, and I'm really hard on food, but their food was outstanding. They have food trucks all over the island, so they have different, different spots you can go get. We shared because we're like, ooh, we can't decide. So I got a chicken sandwich, and there was a pulled pork barbecue sandwich. And then there was also a mahi sandwich. Oh my God. And it was all included. You just walked up to the food truck and you told them what you wanted. They handed it to you and you went on about your business. They had a Starbucks, like little, oh goodness, like a bicycle with a Starbucks little machine on it when we got off. And I'm like, what? That's an additional charge, but I was like, there, you can get Starbucks on their private island. This is super cool.
Yeah. They also had a buffet for like pickier eaters or young kids that had like burgers and fries and pizza. So there were those kind of options as well.
Yeah.
They also had, go ahead, Jenna, I'm sorry.
Well, Jenna mentioned earlier that on board there was a lot of specialty bars. There was also like specialty bars on their island, which was really cool, because a lot of times it's just like one or 2 different bars, but they're not like themed a certain way. You can get almost anything, but they're not like themed to be something specific. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a Bacardi bar.
There was. There's also a tequila bar.
So
I
thought that was really cool.
They also had a frozen drink truck too. It's kind of like the food truck. You just walked up and boop, 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 and filled up your own frozen drink in this fancy little truck. It was cool. Some of the things, you could rent a raft or a cabana there. They have a small cabana and a large cabana. They also had zip lining on the island. That was so much fun watching people do that.
Yes. I particularly loved the water. It was so clear. Every area that we saw was very clear. They also, which I thought was very interesting, had like a club area that was, I believe, for Haven guests only.
They do. They have a special Haven area just for Haven guests on that private island. So your concierge club service doesn't stop on the ship. It follows you off the ship on their private island. Everything there was like, the bathrooms were very clean. Everything was top notch. The sand, the beaches, there were plenty of areas with umbrellas. What else was there to do on the island? I know that you can swim with the pigs, and you can do a few other of those excursions there. They have a lighthouse.
The pig excursion. Yeah, the lighthouse you can do. You can obviously rent kayaks and snorkeling equipment and stuff like that. There were some dance parties at some of the little bars and volleyball. So there was a lot of activities you could do.
They had those like cute swings.
Yes.
Like the ones you see on Instagram, like the rope and so those were fun. A lot of people were congregated around those, I think, for pictures, but also to swing, but also mostly pictures.
It's the culture, right?
Exactly.
Well, that sounds awesome, guys. So really the last question that I have for you, and then we have had a question or two come through that we'll address here in just a second, but why book your Norwegian cruise with a travel agent versus just going online and booking it yourself?
Well, I feel like that they should book through us because we've been there and we've done that. Like I have experience. I can tell you how it feels to board the boat with or without your e-travel docs.
Mhm.
I can also I can also right. Well, it was super easy. Like Norwegian makes it so easy. Everything was just so easy. And then on top of it, we monitor for the deals, and I know, what specialty, what is included in that free at sea, because it can be kind of confusing as to what actually is included. And we've done it, and I've seen it, and I've experienced it. I can tell you which specialty dining restaurants I loved and why. I can tell you which main dining areas I loved and why. I can tell you which whiskey bar drink I like the most and why. I can tell you like which, you just have that personal experience that you don't get from a booking engine.
Right.
Well, and best of all, none of that costs you any more money,
No,
right?
that's
Like
right.
it's the same
Right.
price to book through a travel agent than it is to book, on your own.
Right.
You get, especially now with protocols and everything changing, having somebody to just kind of keep an eye on stuff like that for
Right.
you is invaluable, especially
Right.
when you
Oh,
consider the fact that you're not paying anything for that.
Right.
right.
Why would you not do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of options out there, like not
Mhm.
only on Norwegian Cruise Line, which there are a lot of options,
Mhm.
but like, and some of them have, like for Alaska, for example, if you look up an Alaska itinerary on Norwegian, there's like 4 or 5 ships that sail to Alaska. So like maybe you don't know that you're picking a different ship that's maybe an older ship that's smaller, that and you would prefer a larger ship or you'd prefer a newer ship. So that's something that, a travel advisor can really show their expertise on which ship might be best for your family and be able to cater that to you.
Yeah.
Also to compare it to other cruise lines. So if you've sailed, a different cruise line and this would be your first Norwegian cruise, or you haven't cruised and you're like, I don't even know what the main difference is. Which one would my family, which one would be best for my family situation? That's certainly something as well that we can help point you in the right direction, because something that was very eye-opening, I'm sure it was to Jenna and Casey as well, during our seminar at sea, they gave us some side-by-side examples of
Yes.
different pricing for cruises, and to see the different comparisons. And sure, like example, with some other cruise lines, when you don't book a beverage package in advance and you pay for that after the fact, versus Norwegians where it's included with your free at sea, what does the final total look like? Like that's something that we can also advise, like, hey, yes, you're going to pay less maybe to book with this one, but you're going to have more things you're going to pay separately
Right.
for.
Right.
Or this one, you're not going to pay anything, like other cruises might include more than Norwegian does. So it's just a lot of like figuring out which one is best for you. That we're happy to advise on, and like you said, it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Great point. So we did have one question come through from YouTube. So we'll pop this question up here in just a second. So Ronald asks, do you need a passport to go on a cruise?
You don't necessarily need a passport. It's highly suggested. You can travel with your driver's license and a certified copy of your birth certificate, but it is highly recommended that you have your passport to travel, especially on ones that are closed loop from the
Right.
States.
Yeah, even on those closed loop cruises where you start and end in a U.S. port where you don't technically need that passport. Personally, for myself, I would not cruise without a passport,
Right.
just because you're not, like, if there's an emergency or something like that and you end up needing to debark the ship and maybe fly home, in a medical or some other emergency, you can't do that without a passport. And so, technically there are certain itineraries where you can, like Jenna said, you can fly with a driver's license and an official copy of your birth certificate, but it's probably not the safest option.
It's strongly suggested that you have one. Strongly.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a great question, and that's a question that a lot of people have. So, okay, I think that's the only one. So Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your experience with us. I really loved learning a lot. I was not on this seminar at sea with them, so I loved learning a lot about what you guys got to experience. So, and thank you all for watching us tonight. If you would like to get more information about planning a vacation from any of the agents that you heard from this evening, you can reach out to them at the contact information that we provided at the beginning of the video. Keep in mind that it is no additional charge to book through one of our agents, and we can help you with a cruise vacation, a theme park, all-inclusive resorts, and beyond. So pretty much anywhere in the world that you want to travel, there is a Marvelous Mouse agent that can help you get there. But we thank you for joining us again tonight, and we hope that you'll join us again next week at 8 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.